not even loaded.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not loaded. It's a pressurized cabin. Why would I load it in the cabin? The bullet goes in thing and everybody's sucked out.
Hi, Sam. My name is Driune Santana with Hollywood Melanin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. First of all, congratulations on this film, The Tomorrow War. I fell in love with your character, Charlie, when you first popped on the screen. I was like, okay, he was one of those people I knew for a fact was going to have me laughing from the jump. You did your part. Like,
very much.
It was, I just love Charlie. Like, I was like, Charlie's my best friend. He gonna shoot people, but he gonna be cursing all over the place. Like, I'm scared, but I'm not gonna go down the fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's what I wanted out of him, you know, because like, I think he would be what if we had to go fight a war, you know. Like, I mean, I'll try and be as tough a guy as I can, but I got to psych myself up with whatever I can. You know?
Definitely. So, what drawn you to to play as Charlie?
They approached me with the part, and I really liked the idea of a character who is there. Like I really the whole concept of the movie being, you know, people who otherwise wouldn't be fighting a war like this, a bunch of everymen and just regular people fighting like a war with these high, you know, alien stakes and like a world war in the future. But you're not seeing just like trained soldiers. You're seeing like some regular people doing that. Right. I love that idea, and so like the idea of Charlie being that he's a regular person, but he's scared all the time because we would be scared all the time. That's real, you know. So getting to do that, but then also getting to be in his own way, where you're like learning to be brave with that. I thought that was a very fun and like compelling story to get to play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was, and you get to see this bromance between Dan and Charlie from the moment they appeared on screen together. So what was it like working with Chris Pratt?
I mean, that bromance was just like a continuation of like the bromance we had off camera, you know. I think we became like really good friends. Chris is like so much fun to work with, and like he's like a legit true action star. Like, you know, like in the 80s we had Arnold and Sylvester, and you know, this guy's like, now we've got Chris. Like he's like legitimately, you know. So it was thinking back to myself when I was a kid and I was like eating up these Jean-Claude Van Damme movies and all these things. Now I'm like, oh, I'm my co-star right now. It was like really fun, and he's so funny and he's so nice and generous. It was like a really great experience to get to work with him on that and like learn so much from him too.
Yeah, like you guys together was absolutely amazing. He was the brave one, and you were, okay, we're gonna get through it, but I'm not going out. You know? So, but we also did get the chance to like the transition of Charlie, like as they return from war. You see, he's a little shaken up because this is something that he's not used to. So how do you think it affected Charlie mentally when he returned?
I think when Charlie came back, he's definitely like jarred. You know what I mean? Well, they say in the thing, like only 30% of people come back from the war. And like, so like the odds of him coming back, I don't think he thought he was going to ever. Like every step, he's like, well, that's it, I'm done. And coming back, you know, he's completely broken down. You know, he's everything. They talk about bravery, like he's also ashamed of how he survived it. So like there's that shame, there's that fear. What are you coming back to? You know, you've seen what happens in the future. We don't get, you know, in life, we don't get that. So like getting to do that and like what the future is the end. He like, what does that do to your psyche? It's not good. So I think he comes back changed.
Yeah, but he still has that bubbly personality towards the end, especially when the alien comes towards him. He has the chainsaw, and he's just like, I won. Like the pie on the cake or whatever, how they say it, cherry on top or something. So what would you say is like some of your favorite parts that you actually enjoyed filming?
There were some really cool parts, like when we first we jump into the future. you know, we landed in like this pool. And
Right.
so that was like real. We were really underwater, shooting these cameras underwater. We're like really jumping in, diving in. I'm literally underwater for those takes, pretending to drown, having people on top of me. They've got like weights in my pocket, so I make sure I sink harder. I'm a really good swimmer, but that was, I definitely was like, I'm getting tired after about 2-3 takes, and you're doing it for 20-30 takes. You start to like, your mind's like, hope we end this soon. But it was like really fun to get to like see what the shots look like. I'm like, oh, that was like the like really one of the first times I was like, I'm in an action movie. This is like legit. This is a full thing. That was really fun to get to do. And riding snowmobiles in Iceland also.
Well, see, I can't swim, so I would have drowned. So
yeah, that would have been it.
I would have drowned immediately. I could have not done what you guys did. As far as like the aliens, you know, they're coming at you. I felt like it was like 3D form, because they had like if this was like moving in 3D with like the glasses, I would have been scared.
I mean, you really would. Like the things that come at you, it's like it would be a perfect movie for that.
Yeah. So how did you prepare as far as like, you know, I know you guys started filming in 2019 and, you know, pre-pandemic and then going into the pandemic. So how did you guys film pandemic wise?
Oh, well, you know, we wrapped right before everything. We wrapped the movie in January before most people knew about what was actually happening, so well before the shutdowns and things. You know, Chris was wearing a mask a lot because of dust for the longest time. So he'd wear the mask for dust, and then like people had pictures of him on set, and they're like, oh, this must have been filmed during the pandemic. It wasn't. It was just a coincidence. But so we were able to wrap that movie before everything shut down. Yeah.
Well, see, Chris was ahead of our time then.
He really was.
he knew. See, this movie in the future, he knew what was. He definitely did. So when you're talking about like for actors who, you know, you've been in so many different films and TV shows and whatnot, and there are so many newcomers who are coming into the game who are African American. And what advice would you give them as they're going into their acting journey in Hollywood?
Advice that I would give them would be to own themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, know that what you're bringing to whatever role, it is yourself. You know what I mean? So if whatever part isn't right for you, it's not right for you. You know what I mean? It's not your time. It's not your time yet. But remember that you are the commodity that they're looking for. You know what I mean? And kind of like have confidence in that. And also just to watch as much and talk about it as much as you can, because that just makes you better. If you have an opportunity to take a class, if you have an opportunity to teach a class. I love teaching improv and workshops and stuff like that, because it helps me remember things that I need to do as an actor. Well, I love watching, you know, just watching it and being involved in it as much as you can. That'd be my advice.
Awesome. I love that. And any goals that you would like to share for the year 2021?
I'd like to be a bigger action star. I want to be in big action movies. I want to be the new Jean-Claude Van Damme.
We'll definitely love to see that. I want to see you in more action films and stuff like that. I really do, because I think you're amazing at what you do, and the character that you brought to life. You gave us a lot of laughter during this scary time, so we appreciate that. But Sam, I thank you so much for speaking with me today over here at Hollywood Melanin.